Benzie Area Christian Neighbors, or BACN as the community knows it, has been serving their clients, known as neighbors, for 38 years, the last 10 from a repurposed manufacturing building off of US 31 in Benzonia, Michigan. What started as a small food pantry in the basement of the Mills Community House has grown into the region's second largest human services agency, providing food, clothing, financial assistance, education, and social services to nearly 4,000 people each year. This is a Christian-based organization which serves all without regard to race, ethnicity, gender, nationality, sexual orientation, physical limitations, religious affiliation, or lack thereof. Each time BACN has experienced exponential growth, a transformation in the facility has jump-started that change. It's time for BACN to grow again. There are people who need our help, and our current facility is preventing us from giving it. We have launched a capital campaign for our project BACN Builds to build a new facility on our current land. We have raised over half the money needed to break ground and make this new facility a reality. Some have asked if this is the best time to continue pursuing a new facility. The COVID-19 crisis has placed a layer of uncertainty over the prospect of raising funds during this window. However, through this pandemic, we have discovered how very much this community needs BACN to be here in its most sustainable way. We have been able to be flexible and adapt services to keep providing neighbors with food, financial help, and education, but we know we could be doing so much more if we were already in the new facility. We invite you to join us on a tour of the BACN facility today, and while you see these images, let us describe how our services will grow once our project is complete. The new building will be lighter in color and much closer to US 31. Visibility will be pronounced, making it easy for new neighbors to find us. For less confusion, the new sign will feature our current logo and will explain the services available within. Improved parking lot lighting will help us extend hours for our working families. If we continue the drive-up food model currently in place, we'll be able to keep serving our neighbors into the evening, making sure everyone has food and other assistance. Research shows there are thousands of residents in Benzie Area Christian Neighbors Service Area living in households where people are employed, yet still unable to meet their basic needs. The new facility will issue a public invitation to them to come and receive the help they need. Walking up to the new building will be an entrance dedicated to neighbors, and as pedestrians won't be crossing into the path of the Benzie bus or food delivery trucks. Community donations will be taken on the opposite side of the building, relieving the associated traffic congestion. The snow melt system beneath the cement of the sidewalk will keep neighbors safe as they enter the building in winter. Saving on snow removal bills is an added bonus. We'll enter the building under a canopy designed to ward off the elements, and the door will open electronically, wide enough for those using mobility devices or strollers to enter with ease. Once inside, there's someone who would like to speak with you.
Hello, I am Liz, and I am the service coordinator here at BACN. We are excited to share with you about the improvement that we look to offer to our neighbors and volunteers when the new building is done. There are so many things I'm looking forward to. We host many partners here at BACN, and the new building will help us available to host them without as many schedule conflicts. Like for example, Michigan Works will be available to host a job fair. At the same time, DHHS is helping our neighbors to fill up application for all the service that they offer. The GED classroom will be available to accommodate more students working toward their diploma. At the same time, maybe neighbors are working in their resumes. In the waiting room, we are available to have workspace for our neighbors. At the same time, MSU Extension can do a demonstration of any food products that we have at the pantry. So there's too many possibilities that we can use our room. Also, one of the main things I'm looking forward, and I'm happy that it will be done in our new building, is the issue with the privacy in our coordinator's office right now. Like you see in this current building, the walls that divide the coordinator's offices, don't go all the way to the ceiling, so the neighbors can overhear conversations. In the new building, we will have each coordinator in a different office separate with privacy. So that is important for our neighbors. Thank you for taking the time to visit and learn about our field of dreams. We know if we build it, more neighbors will come.
Thanks, Liz. At this point of a BACN visit, neighbors will register and wait to visit one-on-one with a volunteer coordinator. You heard Liz mention the needed privacy in the coordinator's offices. This time with the coordinator is the neighbor's opportunity to share about their life and circumstance and to experience the kindness that comes from someone willing to listen. Our neighbors often feel silenced by their life situations, and this is a very important aspect of the dignity and respect BACN attempts to provide during a visit. We're dedicated to building a private space where conversations are not overheard and neighbors feel safe to share. After meeting with the coordinator, neighbors return to the waiting room in order to be called to the food pantry or clothing center. In the new building, we can offer less wait times, as each program will have the capacity through traffic patterns and additional entrances and exits to accommodate more people at one time. This will be especially important if social distancing needs to remain the norm. Due to the pandemic, the clothing center is currently closed. If we were in the new facility, we'd be open and safely social distancing. The new building will have increased storage space for out-of-season donations. Presently, all out-of-season donations must go into the mission truck in the parking lot that helps generate a small income while keeping donated items from filling the landfill. The improved configuration of the clothing center will also help us accept partner donations, such as the Boots for Kids program or the annual Rotary Coat Drive. The items will be on display for neighbors to select, instead of being stashed in individual offices and searched for as neighbors request them. While we're waiting to visit the pantry, let's peek at the volunteer experience at BACN. We have a group of 180 volunteers, up to 15 in the building each day. Volunteers do almost all the direct client work at BACN, and we are pleased that in the future we can offer a respectful experience as volunteers serve their neighbors. We'll add features like a dedicated entrance for volunteers and staff, additional storage lockers, and seating to safely remove winter boots or other changes. The sign-in area will have a table for lunch breaks and rest. This specific space is very important to us as we are conscious of our majority group of volunteers who are in their 70s and 80s. Some have health issues that make it difficult to stand for their entire 4-hour shift. The new kitchen will be closer in proximity to the volunteer area, with more usable counter and storage space for items used by staff, volunteers, and for community meetings. The traffic flow of the new kitchen will allow for people to quickly move through and wash their hands, plus access the microwave and refrigerator. The men's and women's bathrooms are currently in one of 3 long hallways, and people often get lost en route. In the new building, finding the restrooms will be a more intuitive experience, with bathrooms accessible for neighbors with mobility challenges, sinks low enough to allow someone in a wheelchair to wash their hands, and paper toweling available on that level as well. Both bathrooms will be family restrooms with changing tables, so parents will not be faced with the decision to leave children unattended in order to use the facilities. In the new building, the offices of the volunteer coordinator, client services coordinator, and director of operations will be in the midst of the service areas so that they are accessible both to neighbors and volunteers as needed. Walls between the offices and program areas will have windows that open both for visibility and hearing. Each office will have a second exit, allowing for safety in case of an emergency. Michelle is going to join us shortly to talk about the aspect we'll be most proud of in the new building, the food pantry. While she's sharing, we'll be warm thanks to numerous repairs this year to the boiler. We look forward to being able to take some of the money spent on the maintenance and utility expenses of an old building and buy more groceries for the larger pantry. While food is just one of 5 programs at Benzie Area Christian Neighbors, we know it's the one that first brings people in. People can struggle a long time shifting bills around until they are simply no longer able to do so. The grocery bill is often the one with the most wiggle room and lack of hard deadline. But when funds dwindle for buying food, eventually, hunger forces people to seek help. The food assistance does not stop at BACN's doors. There are several outreach programs we'll be able to host in the new facility. Now here's Michelle to share about food.
Hi, I'm Michelle Northrup and I'm the Operations Director at BACN, and I wanted to share some things with you that our new facility will allow us to do. One of the things is that BACN will be able to host the Blessings in a Backpack program right at our building, ensuring that that program will have a long life. Our partnerships will continue to grow. Our Senior Resources Partnership will make sure that more seniors will be able to receive supplemental bags with their meals. Larger freezer and cooler space will help us to keep fruits and vegetables fresher longer, and it will allow us to take advantage of opportunities that may come our way to provide extra dairy and lean proteins. Extra warehouse space will make it easier to keep the availability of foods on hand that we will need to make sure that shoppers have quantities. Given the new social distancing, which we hadn't thought about when we started with the building, we were happy to see that that is not going to be a problem and will be easily accommodated in the new building. Shoppers will be able to social distance as well as not cross paths while they're shopping. Really, just overall, what we're able to accomplish is to serve people where they're at, to serve our seniors who'd like to come during the day, and to serve others who need to come maybe during the evening after work or after picking up the kids from school.
Thank you for allowing us to share the BACN Builds project. We're calling it our Field of Dreams in a tongue-in-cheek way because we know this dream is grounded in reality. Many people worked diligently to determine the need for this project and will work just as diligently to see it through. Through the process, Benzie Area Christian Neighbors is continually making the new friends needed to sustain work in the decades to come. A recent Networks Northwest study shows that later this year, over 55% of Benzie County residents will likely struggle to meet their basic needs due to the COVID-19 short and long-term business closures and loss of employment. Our community needs BACN more than ever to be the place where people can come, not just for a handout, but for a hand up as they work to rebuild their lives. We thank you for your time.